Test, test. And we're coming to you live from the Gretna baseball field here at the Area 6 tournament. Top of the first inning. They've said the pledge. They've done the national anthem. We're ready to begin as Gretna is in the field, and your pitcher is Zach Weiss. And the first batter is going to be number 6, left fielder Ace McInnes. McInnes takes the first pitch offering from Weiss inside on a fastball for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 1-1. Again, defensively for Gretna, Weiss is on the mound. Brian Geary behind the plate. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Fouled off into foul territory, out of play on the right side. On the infield, you have Kobe Hardy's over at first, Blake Grimm at shortstop, Bryce Grimm at second, Zach Devine at third. Here's the 1-2 offering, curveball that's inside. He just bites it off and fouls it away. Count is 1-2. In the outfield for Gretna in left, number 3, Carson Dudry. Out in center, number 4, Knopper. And in right, Weiss. Another pitch that's on the outside corner, fouled back over the backstop and out of play. So McInnes fighting off a couple of pitches here, still at a 1-2 count. The big right-hander, Weiss, from the windup and throws. Ball in the dirt behind the plate, but blocked nicely by Jerry. 2-2 count. If you're just joining us, we're here at the top of the first inning. Scoreless game as this is the first batter of the contest as Grand Island Dinsdale Auto is up to bat. McInnes sees the 2-2 pitch just out off the outside corner for ball 3 and runs the count full on the pitcher, Weiss. Weiss from the full windup, the right-handed pitcher throwing to the right-hander, Ace McInnes, the left fielder. Here's the full count delivery. It misses low and in the dirt, and the leadoff batter for Dinsdale Auto is going to reach first base.
Number 4, catcher Dalton Beath.
And this brings up number 4, the catcher Dalton Veith. Veith batting from the right side as Weiss will go into the stretch. McInnes leads off first. Comes set. Here's the delivery. Bunt is laid down right back at the pitcher. Weiss will pick it up. Fire over to Hardy's at first for out number 1. So sacrifice bunt by Veith as he moves the runner up to second, doing his job. And now a runner in scoring position with 1 down. Brings up to bat number 12, the right fielder, Paris Lautenschlager. So good bunt. Didn't have to do much with it, but made sure that he got that runner moved over to second. Weiss comes set and delivers. Weak swing, just chops the ball. I thought he hit a foul ball, but apparently he missed it altogether. It was just a pitch that bailed into the dirt, and he swung and missed. So the runner's going to move over to third. So McInnes all the way over at the hot corner, and an 0-1 count to the right fielder, number 12, Paris Lautenschlager. Here's the 0-1 delivery to Lautenschlager. Curveball that's dribbled weakly back towards the mound. Weiss picks it up, fires to Hardy's at first, and gets him. Good play by Weiss to hop off the mound. He looked the runner back at third and held him right there. So with 2 down, Weiss might be able to get out of the inning without letting that run come across. It brings up the designated hitter for Dinsdale Auto, number 11, Nick LeDuc. LeDuc also batting from the right side as Weiss comes set from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Fastball right there at the knees on the outside corner for strike one. So I think it took Weiss a little time to just kind of loosen up out there on the mound, because after that leadoff batter, he's looked really sharp. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Curveball that breaks right in on the inside corner. Backdoored him and froze him. 0-2 to LeDuc. Top of the first inning here in Gretna. 0-0 score. 2 outs. Runner on third. Nick LeDuc for Dinsdale Auto batting against Zach Weiss. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he goes down on strikes. So after giving up the opening walk, Weiss gets on top of things right away. Really good control on the last 3 batters, and after a couple dribblers right back to him that he threw over to Hardy's himself to get outs number 1 and 2, he strikes out LeDuc looking. So after half an inning of play, we are scoreless here in Gretna. Give us just a couple of seconds to play a message from our sponsors, and we'll be back to set the defensive lineup for Dinsdale Auto. Thanks for listening on GretnaBaseball.com.
Points, cash, gear, sports. With a Dick's scorecard, you earn points on all your purchases and get 3% back in rewards and access to exclusive deals and events. It's simple. Points lead to cash to buy gear so you can play more sports. Get your Dick's scorecard and start earning reward certificates today. Every season starts at Dick's.
And we're back here at Gretna, Nebraska for the Nebraska American Legion Juniors Class A Area 6 tournament. This is the second game of the day that we're covering, and it's Dinsdale Auto against the Gretna Baxter Auto Juniors. Dinsdale Auto went down after a leadoff walk. The next 3 batters were retired and no runs came across, so it's going to be Gretna's turn to bat. Starting defensively for Dinsdale Auto today, on the mound is number 5, Tyler Wrinkle. Behind the plate, number 4, Dalton Veith. Over at first base is number 19, Mitchell Gardner. At second, number 2, Breton Rivera. And at third base, number 8, Trevor Johnson. The shortstop is number 1, Colby Hayes. In the outfield, number 6, Ace McInnes is in left. Number 9, Jack Friesen is in center. And number 12, Paris Lautenschlager is in right field. So this is going to be the first time that Baxter Auto gets to see Wrinkle. And Wrinkle's going to face our leadoff hitter, number 5, shortstop Blake Grimm. So the warm-up pitches are done. The music is shut off. The umpire is stretching. And Blake Grimm steps into the box. Grimm, the shortstop with good speed, bats from the right-hand side, facing the right-hander, Wrinkle. Here's the pitch from Wrinkle. Fastball the catcher couldn't handle on the inside corner, went all the way to the backstop for ball 1. Natural to have a little bit of nerves when you first start the game here. Here's the 1-0 delivery to Grimm. Fastball right down the inside edge of the plate for strike 1. Grimm will do a good job as a leadoff batter, seeing a lot of pitches. Here's the 1-1 delivery from Wrinkle. That one's too far off the plate inside. 2-1. Grimm steps 1 foot out of the box, looks down, gets his sign, steps back in. Wrinkle from the pull, wind up the 2-1 pitch. Low and inside. 3-1. So Blake Grimm, half of the Grimm duo up the middle, looking to get the leadoff runner on base for the Baxter Auto Juniors. And that one's upstairs and inside, and just like that, Blake Grimm is down on first base on a walk.
Number 4, center fielder, Caden Opfer.
So brings up to bat the center fielder, number 4, Caden Opfer. Opfer, the lefty, also bats from the left side of the plate. Really good speed, steps into the box. So he can quickly turn a sacrifice bunt into a base hit. Wrinkle comes set. Opfer shows bunt. Grimm is stealing. And the throw is there and gets him at second. So Grimm is put out on the 2-4. Really quick pop by the catcher. And just like that, the leadoff base runner is eliminated. Opfer took that first pitch for a ball, so it's 1-0. And there's a hard hit to second base. One hopper to the second baseman by Opper. Second baseman fires across to first, and that's out number 2. So went from having a leadoff runner and no outs to 2 down and nobody on. Brings up the 3-hole hitter, the right fielder, number 10, Joe Weiss. And Joe's been having a pretty good year from the stick. Joe bats from the right side. Steps in against the right-hander, Wrinkle. Wrinkle from the full windup, and here's the delivery. And that's a fastball that's picked up off the dirt on the outside corner by the catcher for ball 1. 0-0 score here with 2 down in the bottom of the first from Gretna. 1-0 pitch to Weiss. Right on the inside edge. I thought it was on the inside edge of the batter's box, but the umpire saw it differently. 1-1. Right fielder Weiss steps in against Wrinkle. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Curveball bounces up to the catcher for ball 2. So 2-1 count on Weiss. And I can tell you right now by where the outfield's playing, if he gets a hold of one, they're not deep enough. But he didn't get a hold of it. Instead, he pops it up right to the left fielder. And Gretna's retired in order. 1, 2, 3. So nothing going in the first inning for either team. As we go into the second inning, tied at 0-0. We'll be back with more baseball after these words from our sponsors. Thanks for listening on GretnaBaseball.com.
Baseball fans, this broadcast of the Nebraska American Legion Area 6 Juniors Tournament is brought to you by our sponsors. One such sponsor is Kirsten Construction of Gretna, Nebraska, a full-service underground utility contractor, providing quality service to residential, industrial, and commercial clients in eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. They provide free estimates. Give them a call. Services include underground utilities, water and sewer line repairs, and snow removal. And Kirsten Precast Concrete products include manholes, septic tanks, and special orders. Give Kirsten Construction a call at 402-332-4141, a proud sponsor of American Legion Baseball.
And we want to thank our sponsors again for sponsoring this broadcast of the Area 6 Baseball Tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to try to cover every single game of this tournament online at GretnaBaseball.com to give you an opportunity, even if you can't travel, to be able to listen to the kids play. I'm definitely not a professional, but I will do my best to keep you knowing what's going on here. So we're in the top of the second. Weiss on the mound delivers the first pitch, a strike on the outside corner to the batter, number 2, the second baseman, Breton Rivera. So Rivera batting from the right side against the pitcher, Weiss. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Misses on the inside corner for a ball, 1-1. Scoreless game here in the top of the second inning, no outs. Weiss delivers the 1-1 pitch, and it's hit into shallow center field. Opfer is coming on hard, but he gets there. And that's what speed will do for you. Opfer got a great break on that as soon as it was hit in the air. Came bailing in full speed and then kind of coasted into the catch. Great job by Opfer on center. Brings up to bat number 19, the first baseman, Mitchell Gardner. So great day here in Gretna. Pretty hot, but we got a little bit of cloud cover in the air. First pitch is a fastball on the outside corner for a strike to Gardner. So Weiss, after having a little problems with the opening batter, seems to have settled in. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Curveball. Jerry does a good job of just flagging the glove out there and scooping it up one hop, 1-1 to Gardner. Weiss from the full windup. The 1-1 delivery to Gardner is a fastball fouled right back to the backstop. And he just missed that one. I mean, it went straight back to the backstop. Not to the top, just straight back, just over the umpire's shoulder, right back to the backstop. So 1-2 is your count. As Weiss looks in, and here's the delivery. Fastball up and outside, and he couldn't get him to fish. 2-2. Gardner, the first baseman, steps in the right-handed batter's box. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Weiss on the outside corner. They got him to flag at it, but the umpire says he didn't go. It's a full count. Gardner thought about it, stuck the bat out there, but not quite far enough to get a call to strike. Full count pitch, and swing and a miss for strike 3. as Weiss just blew some smoke by him there. That was a good pitch. Just reared back and threw a fastball about belly button high right down the middle of the plate and said, if you want to hit it, hit it. Unfortunately, he missed at that time, so 2 down. Brings up number 8, the third baseman, Trevor Johnson. Weeks from the full windup. Here's the first pitch. Fastball is inside and down for ball 1. Scoreless contest here at the top of the first. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss by Johnson. Counts now 1-1. So this is the first game of the tournament for both of these teams. Baxter, the 3 seed, Dinsdale Auto, the 6 seed. Next pitch is fouled hard, but out of play, way out of play on the right side. Count is 1-2. Speaking of foul balls, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Speedy Mart of Gretna and American National Bank, for sponsoring 50 cents per foul ball retrieved and brought back. Fastball on the outside corner on a 1-2 pitch. He freezes him and he goes down looking. So Johnson strikes out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Weiss. We've got a well-played game because the pitchers are throwing pretty well and they're getting people out. We're already in the bottom of the second, folks. That's right. We played 1.5 innings of baseball. Score is 0-0. We're going to take a little break, and we will be back with the bottom of the second. Thanks for listening on GretnaBaseball.com.
Points, cash, gear, sports. With a Dick's Scorecard, you earn points on all your purchases and get 3% back in rewards and access to exclusive deals and events. It's simple. Points lead to cash to buy gear so you can play more sports. Get your Dick's Scorecard and start earning reward certificates today. Every season starts at Dick's.
And welcome back to Gretna, Nebraska, as we're about to start the bottom of the second inning. Scoreless game between Dinsdale Auto of Grand Island, Baxter Auto of Gretna. Leading off for Gretna in the bottom of the second is the first baseman, number 19, Kobe Hardees. Hardees bats from the right side and sees a curveball that I know he wishes he could have had back. That's the pitch that he's been sitting on and drilling this year. But it's in there for a strike. 0-1 to Hardees. Wrinkle delivers, hops up to the catcher, bounce to him. 1-1, as that one's in the dirt. Scoreless contest. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome aboard. We're glad to have you at GretnaBaseball.com. We'll try to cover all these games. 1-1 count to the batter, Hardees. That one misses low. 2-1. So Hardees kind of a tall kid, stands about 6'4", facing the right-handed pitcher, Wrinkle. 2 right-handers. And Hardees takes a big swing and fouls a bouncer way foul down the third base line. 2-2 is the count. So Hardees leading off for Baxter Auto here in the bottom of the second. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Curveball that didn't break. It just stayed up and he got out of the way at the last second. Full count. He could see it off the hand that he was trying to spin it in there, but it just didn't move. Full count delivered to Hardees. Hard hit foul ball down the line, but missed third base by quite a ways. He turned on it and hit it good, but not going to be a fair ball. Full count to Hardees once again. Wrinkle from the full windup delivers. And there's a pitch way out off the plate, so Hardees walks to draw the leadoff runner on base for Baxter Auto once again.
Number 3, left fielder, Carson Dundry.
Now, we were in this situation in the first inning, but we were thrown out trying to steal second. Let's see what Coach Flynn does here. Brings up to bat number 3, the left fielder, Carson Dundry. Dundry steps in from the right side of the plate. Hardees with the lead off first. Here's the first pitch. Misses outside for ball 1. So Dudry sees the first fastball out and away. Steps back into the box. Here's the 1-0 delivery to Dudry. It's a curveball hit sharply to the second baseman. Second baseman fields it, does not try to go to second. Instead, he goes right to first. So Dudry's out on the fielder's choice, but it will advance Hardy's over to second on the play. Mark it down 4-3 in your book, and it brings up number 6, the third baseman, Zach Devine. So Hardy's in scoring position, takes his lead off second. Devine steps in from the right side against Wrinkle. Wrinkle comes set. Here's the delivery. And Devine hits a shot to left field, but right at the left fielder. Hard line drive, but literally the left fielder moved 2 steps back, and they weren't even hard steps. He just had to backpedal. So Zach hit it hard, but just hit it right at him. 2 down. It brings up to bat the pitcher, number 11, Zach Weiss. Weiss also batting from the right side. Hardy's leading off second. Here's the pitch from Wrinkle. Swinging a foul ball that got a piece of the catcher, and that hurt. He popped out of the box right away. You can always tell a good umpire, folks, because the good umpire is going to hop out and walk out to the pitcher and let him have his choice of balls, sweep off the plate, kick around some dirt, do whatever he can to buy the catcher a little time. He is sweeping a perfectly clean plate right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good umpire right there. So that's the kind of guy that you want behind the plate when you're playing baseball. So good job behind the plate there. Didn't get his name. I know our umpires for the game. I'm not sure which one is where, but I do have their names written down. I'll make sure I get that to you in a little bit, folks. So after the foul tip, it looks like everybody's back in order and adjusted to count as 0-1 to the pitcher, Zach Weiss. Weiss steps in as Wrinkle comes set on the mound. Here's the 0-1. Curveball that bounces up to him. 1-1 to Weiss. One count to Weiss. Wrinkle delivers. Weiss hits one foul and out of play into the track throwing area here at the high school. 1-2 is now the count. Bottom of the second inning here from Gretna. Still a scoreless contest. Hardy's is on second after trying to lead off walk. Here's the pitch to Weiss. Inside pitch fouled down the third base line. Turned on it a lot and hit the fence just on the other side of the dugout. So he fought that one off. The count remains 1-2. Hardy's has the lead off of second. Wrinkle looks at him. Here's the pitch to Weiss. Bounces into dirt, squirts away from the catcher, and Hardy's is going to move up as he was bouncing off the base, read the ball in the dirt, and advanced up to third. So now a wild pitch or any kind of base hit here for sure is going to put Hardy's across the plate and open up the scoring. 2-2 to Weiss. Here's Wrinkle from the full windup now. Fastball misses way outside. Full count to Weiss. So Baxter Otto looking to get something going here in the bottom of the second with 2 down. The count is full. Wrinkle's going to go back from the stretch. He comes set. Here's the full count delivery. Way up and in. It just missed Zach somehow. And he takes his base. Those are the ones that you never want to get hit on because you already have 3 balls on you. If it's going to be a ball anyways, it doesn't need to hit you. So Weiss draws the walk, and because he draws the walk, Connor Becker is going to come in, number 9, to do the running for him. And this brings up the other half of the Grimm duo, the second baseman, Bryce Grimm. Oh, I'm sorry, Bryant Geary. Got ahead of myself. So the catcher, Bryant Geary, steps in with runners on the corners and sees a fastball outside, off the outside corner for ball 1. Well, that's why, because I wrote down the courtesy runner for Geary. Don't want to do that yet. All right, let's fix that. So your batter is Bryant Geary. Sorry about that, Bryant. And he's up 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And it's hit high in the air to shallow left field. The shortstop drifts under it and makes the catch to end the inning. 2 innings have come, 2 innings have gone. No runs have been put up on the board. So we're in a scoreless contest after 2 complete innings of play. Your score, Dinsdale Auto 0, Baxter Auto 0. We'll be back with you for the top of the third inning. Thanks for listening on GretnaBaseball.com.
Points, cash, gear, sports. With a Dick Scorecard, You earn points on all your purchases and get 3% back in rewards and access to exclusive deals and events. It's simple. Points lead to cash to buy gear so you can play more sports. Get your Dick's scorecard and start earning reward certificates today. Every season starts at Dick's.
Baseball fans, this broadcast of the Nebraska American Legion Area 6 Juniors Tournament is brought to you by our sponsors. One such sponsor is Kirsten Construction of Gretna, Nebraska, a full-service underground utility contractor, providing quality service to residential, industrial, and commercial clients in eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. They provide free estimates. Give them a call. Services include underground utilities, water and sewer line repairs, and snow removal. And Kirsten Precast Concrete products include manholes, septic tanks, and special orders. Give Kirsten Construction a call at 402-332-4141, a proud sponsor of American Legion Baseball.
So we're back here in the So we're back here in Gretna for the top of the third. Gretna has made a change on the mound as Luke Tremmel has come in to pitch, the lefty. So Tremmel on the mound now instead of Weiss. Faces the right-handed batter Colby Hayes, the shortstop, and the first pitch from Tremmel is a strike on the outside corner. Here's pitch number 2. Fooled Jerry behind the plate, bounced off his shin guard back into the grass. 1-1 is your count. So Coach O'Flynn making an early change to conserve the pitch count. Weiss is out after a good 2-inning outing, and Tremmel is in and fires another fastball on the outside corner. 1-2 is the count. Yep, that was the only defensive change was the pitcher for pitcher. Weiss comes set, 1-2 pitch, grounded hard back up the middle, and that's going to get through all the way to the outfield. Opper is going to have to come scoop it up. So a base hit for Hayes. So for Weiss, we closed the book on him. He did a great job pitching in the 2 innings he pitched. 3 strikeouts, didn't give up a hit, only walked 1. So that's a good, solid 2-inning outing there. Brings up to bat number 9, the center fielder, Jack Friesen. Friesen lays down to bunt, lays it down to Tremmel. Tremmel fires over to first. Hardy's makes the catch, and they get the runner over at first. So the sacrifice bunt moves Hayes up to second. And Tremmel did a good job as that was a well-placed bunt. He had to come a long ways towards home plate to make that play. But he bounced good. But Friesen does his job, moves Hayes up to second, so with 1 out. Ace McInnes, the left fielder, number 6, comes up to bat. Pitch is way outside for ball 1. McInnes in his first at-bat in the first inning walked and was really the only blemish on Weiss's record today. Here's the 1-0 pitch to him. Line drive hit between short and third to left field. Dudry scoops it up quick. They're going to round, but Dudry makes a strong throw to home plate. One hopper that was right on the money. The runner put on the brakes at third, so Hayes is at third. And the throw was low enough and hard enough that McInnes couldn't advance bases. So McInnes with the single is at first. Hayes at third, and it brings up to bat number 4, the catcher, Dalton Veith. Veith last time laid down a sacrifice bunt back to the pitcher. Here's the first pitch to him, swing and a miss for strike 1. Top of the third inning, 1 out with runners on the corners as Dinsdale is threatening right now. Tremmel comes set, kicks and fires over to first. Good move there, but he didn't fool McInnes, who dove back in safe. 0-1 your count to the batter, Dalton Veith, the catcher. Once again, Tremmel over to first with the step move. And again, McInnes dives back in safely. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Bounces up to Jerry behind the plate. Excuse me, that was an 0-1 delivery, so the count is now 1-1. Nice day here in Gretna. The flag's not really moving out in center. It's not blowing out straight. It's just hanging off the pole. Jerry fires back to third. Don't get him. Real close. So McInnes took off for second base on the pitch, which was a called ball. And instead of firing to second, Jerry threw back to third behind Hayes and almost got him at third base. Runners at second and third. And the 2-1 pitch is fouled out of play on the right side. So runners on second and third. The catcher, Dalton Veith, at the plate with one down here in the top of the third as Dinsdale is threatening. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Tremmel. Fastball right on the outside corner. Gets him looking for strike three. That's out number two. So big pitch by Tremmel with one down. Even a ground ball on the infield most likely would have drove in a run. Now Tremmel looking to get out of this inning without any damage. So Lautenschlager comes up to bat. Number 12, Paris Lautenschlager, the right fielder. And it's a curveball in the dirt, and that's going to get by Jerry and score the first run of the game. So Hayes comes in to score on the wild pitch. Tried throwing the curveball, but he just held on to it a little too long and put it straight in the dirt. And with that spin, that's a tough one for a catcher to block up. Chopper back up the middle. Grimm's going to come in at second and make the play and fire over to Hardy's at first for out number 3. Good play there by Grimm, by Bryce Grimm. He had to come in really hard because it was just a chopper over the pitcher. But he came in hard, got on the grass, and made the play. So, if not for the wild pitch, we might have escaped without any problems. But Dinsdale scores one run in the top of the third inning. Your score from Gretna, Nebraska here at the Area 6 tournament going into the bottom of the third. Dinsdale Auto from Grand Island 1. Baxter Auto Juniors 0. We'll be back with the bottom of the third inning in just a few moments. Thanks for listening on GretnaBaseball.com. Back from Gretna, Nebraska in the Area 6 Juniors Baseball Tournament. Bottom of the third inning, Baxter Auto up to bat. Number 2, the second baseman, Bryce Grimm, steps in. First pitch from Wrinkle bounces up, and the catcher blocks it down the third base line. Ball 1 to Grimm. If you're just joining us, Dinsdale Auto is leading in this contest here in the bottom of the third. 1-0. Grimm, the first batter of the inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch to him. And it's grounded weakly down the third base line. Grimm with a lot of speed hustles down the line. The throw gets away from the first baseman. He stretches, but he can't grab it. The ball's to the fence. Grimm all the way around to second, and he'll hold up there. So the third baseman did a great job of charging up to grab that ball. It was hit weakly down the third base line. But third baseman's going to be charged with an error on that play as the throw was up the line, and the first baseman couldn't grab it. So with the leadoff error, Bryce Grimm is at second, and up comes Blake Grimm. First pitch to Blake is bunted down the third base line. He's got a good jump down the line. Here's the throw. The first baseman has to come off, and he's safe. So the sacrifice moves him up to third. not going to call it a sacrifice, though. You got to call it an infield base hit because I think he would have beat it out anyways, and the first baseman came off.
Number 4, center fielder.
So Baxter Otto's got something going here in the bottom of the third inning. Center fielder Caden Opfer coming up to bat. He grounded out to second his first at bat, but he hit the ball hard. And we've got runners on the corner for him with nobody down in the bottom of the third. Here's the first pitch from Wrinkle, and it stays out off the outside corner. Looked like Caden was kind of looking to bunt for a hit there as he kind of stepped towards the ball, but he didn't flash the bat out, just let it go by for ball one. 1-0 to Caden Opfer. Wrinkle comes set. Grimm's on the bases on first and third. Here's the pitch from Wrinkle, and it's down to shoot right on the outside edge of the plate. That's strike one. So poor Wrinkle's really got to think he's seeing double as the Twins are on first and third. Any direction he looks, he's surrounded by Grimms. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Wrinkle to Opfer. Oh, generous outside corner. Gave him the outside corner there. Might have given him a couple of inches as that ball floated in and looked outside, but it's a called strike. 1-2 to the batter, Opfer. Here's the pitch. Inside and in the dirt, bounces up to the catcher, and Blake Grimm is going to advance from first to second on the play. No throw down to second, so not a steal. It was unopposed. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Opfer. Fastball, swing and a miss for out number one. I think he was surprised that he got the pitch that he was looking for. He's been getting a steady diet of curveballs and just wasn't able to catch up to that fastball. Brings up to bat number 10, the right fielder, Joe Weiss. Weiss flew out to left field. Weak fly ball, his first at bat. This time he sits in and watches a curveball that was above his head slowly drop down into the strike zone for strike one. So Bryce Grimm on third, Blake Grimm on second. One down here in the bottom of the third. Dinsdale ahead 1-0. 1-0 count on Joe Weiss. And Weiss drills one hard to the third baseman. And they've got Grimm hung up between third and home. And he got caught up in a rundown. The third baseman fired to home plate, but the throw was wild. It was in the dirt. It bounced away from the catcher. And so
First baseman, Kobe Hardy.
Weiss is going to reach on the fielder's choice. Bryce Grimm comes in to score. Blake Grimm's over at third, and it brings up to bat the first baseman, Hardy's. Hardy's walked in the second inning. Was a leadoff batter in the second inning. It'd be nice for him to get a hold of one. And Weiss actually moved all the way up to second on that play. First pitch to Hardy's is way outside for ball one. So you'll excuse me if I do a little cheering instead of broadcasting here, but 1-0 pitch. Hardy's drills one, but it's going to be way foul. He definitely put a good swing on it, but he was way ahead of it. 1-1 to count to Hardy's. So we decided after checking 3 different phones that it's 87.3 degrees out here and not much wind. There's the next pitch to Hardy's. He swings and fouls it back over the backstop, and now he's in a hole, 1-2. 1-1 contest here in the bottom of the third inning. One down, runners on second and third for the batter Hardy's. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Way up, 2-2. So 2-2 pitch coming to the batter Hardy's, the first baseman. Weiss on second, Grimm on third. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And that's a curveball that hangs. Hardy's drills it, and it's out of here, but it's foul. So, again, Hardy's put a good swing on it. If it would have been fair, it might have been close to being gone. Hardy's with decent power, has 4 home runs on the year. Hopefully he can get a hold of one. 2-2 count to Hardy's. And he drills another one. This one's going to stay fair. It dropped just foul. As he was hooking it, boy, he has smashed a couple of balls to left field. But this one just missed. It had to have been less than a foot outside the line. It looked like it was going to be fair, and it just kept hooking on him. So we'll reset things. It's still a 2-2 count on Hardy's. Runners still on second and third. Wrinkle comes set and delivers. That one's outside and low. Tried to keep it away from him a little bit. Hardy's watched it go by, so good take. Full count again to Hardy's. Here's the full count delivery. And Hardy's just protecting. Reached out and little half swing, fouled it away, and he'll get another pitch. Full count to the first baseman, Hardy's. Weiss on second. Grimm on third. 1-1 ball game. And Hardy's hits a weak ground ball to the third base. And that one's going to get away from the first baseman. Hardy's is going to go ahead and make it all the way to second. And both Weiss and Grimm are going to come around to score. Again, this is going to be another E3. As Hardy's just kind of dribbled it down the third base line. The third baseman made the play. He was right there and fielded it. But it was the throw over to the first. Was, again, off the mark in the dirt, and the first baseman just couldn't handle it. So after coming into the inning down 0-1, Baxter Auto now has 3 runs up on the board with 1 down and a runner on second. So there's the timeout in the contest as the coach from Dinsdale Auto is going to go out and have a meeting with his infield. And that was a good time for a timeout by the coach. For any of you that played baseball, you know he just walked out there, was just trying to calm everybody down, let them know they're okay. It's only the third inning. And it brings back Carson Dudry, the left fielder. Carson grounded out to the second baseman his first at bat. Here's the first pitch he sees from Wrinkle here in the third inning, and that's ball 1 on the inside. 1-0 count to Dudry. Hardy's leads off second. Pitches way outside, 2-0. Two-0 delivery from Wrinkle. Way inside and in the dirt, but the catcher blocks it up. 3-0 to Dudry. Only 1 down here in the bottom of the third. Dinsdale trailing Baxter Auto 1-3, and Baxter Auto looking to add on. Pitch to Dudry is right there on the inside corner for strike 1. On a 3-1 count, most likely Coach O'Flynn threw up a stop sign so big that Dudry could have just left the bat in the dugout. There's a pitch at the knees that's fouled back to the backstop. So just like that, we're to a full count. Bottom of the third inning, folks. 1-3 in favor of Baxter Auto. Curveball stays high to Dudry, and he's going to get a walk. So Dudry is on base. Dudry on first. Hardy's up at second, and it brings up to bat the third baseman, number 6, Zach Devine. Now, Zach in the second inning in his first at-bat flew out to 7, but what the scorebook won't tell you is that it was a line shot right at the left fielder. It didn't even have to move. We'll definitely take another swing like that. First pitch from Wrinkles right in there on the inside corner. Strike 1 to Devine. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Inside corner, Devine drills it to left field. Left fielder going back. He's going to get there. He makes the catch running back away. And it was one of those where you had to go almost halfway if you were Hardy's or at second base or if you're the runner at first because he was running straight away from home plate back to the fence to get it. But he ran it down. That's a great catch out there in left. That's not one you make every day. And let me tell you, Zach Devine and the left fielder are probably not going to be the best of friends after this game. So it brings up to bat number 13, Luke Tremmel, the pitcher. Tremmel batting from the left side takes the first pitch off the outside corner for ball 1. So Tremmel batting for the first time as he came in relief of Weiss. Hits one to left field, a flare that's going to get caught by the left fielder. And let me tell you, the left fielder is playing a whale of a ball game. I know it's only 3 innings deep, but that young man is making some serious plays out there. That's Ace McInnes. Ace, you have definitely been an ace so far this game. He got a great jump on that one. It was flaring towards the foul line. And McInnes just traveled across left field and was able to rip away what would have easily scored a run. A lot of good baseball being played here in Gretna today. We're going into the fourth inning, and your score from Gretna, Nebraska, Dinsdale Auto of Grand Island 1, Baxter Auto of Gretna 3. We'll be back with the top of the fourth inning in just a few moments. Thanks for listening on GretnaBaseball.com.
Points, cash, gear, sports. With a Dick's Scorecard, you earn points on all your purchases and get 3% back in rewards and access to exclusive deals and events. It's simple. Points lead to cash to buy gear so you can play more sports. Get your Dick's Scorecard and start earning reward certificates today. Every season starts at Dick's.
And we're back for the top of the fourth inning. Dinsdale Auto trailing 1-3 right now to Baxter Auto.
For Dinsdale Auto number 11, designated hitter Nick LeDuc.
And it's going to bring up the designated hitter, Nick LeDuc. LeDuc was retired in the first inning, went down on strikes. This is his second at bat. The first pitch he sees from Tremmel is in the dirt inside for ball one. So 1-0 your count. The right-hander LeDuc steps in against the lefty Tremmel. Here's the pitch. Another bouncer on the inside corner. 2-0. And so Jerry's going to was trying to repay the favor that the umpire did for the other catcher by going out to talk to his pitcher, and the umpire said, "Nah, get back here, I'm fine." So 2-0. Tremmel from the full windup. Fastball in the outside corner for strike one. So 2-1 the count on the designated hitter, LeDuc. Tremmel from the full windup, 2-1 pitch is right down the middle for strike two. So 2-2 on LeDuc. Tremmel, the lefty who came in relief of Weiss after 2 innings, delivers the 2-2 pitch. Another ball that bounces in the dirt, full count on LeDuc. So the wind's starting to pick up here in Gretna as it's blowing out a little bit to left field right now. Here's the pitch from Tremmel. Chopper that bounces up and hits the batter while he's in the box. So that's a foul ball. Count will remain full. Good crowd out here for the 4 o'clock contest as most of the bleachers are full. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Tremmel. Right down the tube, hit to center field. Opfer got a late jump, but still gets to it. So when the ball was hit, I looked out to center, and he was standing flat-footed, which is really unusual for Caden. But then it's like all of a sudden he caught up with it. It's a good thing to be that fast, that's for sure. So he made a great play. Batter is Rivera, number 2, the second baseman, Breton Rivera. Rivera, his first at-bat, flew out to Opfer in the second inning. He sees the first pitch out off the plate for ball one. Here's the 1-0 delivery to him. That's a fastball on the inside corner for strike one. 1-1 count to Rivera. Top of the fourth inning, Dinsdale trailing 1-3. But they've got Breton Rivera at the plate facing a 1-1 pitch from Tremmel, and that's a curveball that got away from him. That's an easy one to lay off when it's down the middle of the other batter's box. 2-1 is the count, and here's the pitch from Tremmel. Fastball up and out, 3-1. So Rivera trying to work his way on base. Right-handed batter Rivera facing the lefty Tremmel. Here's a 3-1 pitch. It's grounded down third. Barehanded play by Weiss, but the throw's way off the money. Smartly, Hardy's goes running off of first to get to it. It's one of those plays where you're probably not going to get him, and the smart thing is just to make sure you catch the ball and keep it from being an error. So,
First baseman Mitchell Gardner.
We'll go ahead and call that an infield hit, as that was actually a heck of a play by Devine to reach out there with his bare hand and stop the ball from getting by him. So Rivera's on with the infield base hit, brings up to bat number 19, first baseman Mitchell Gardner. Tremmel delivers fastball low and inside, ball one. So Gardner, his only other at bat was against Weiss, and he struck out in the second inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch to him, and that's fouled off for a strike, 1-1. So Tremmel, the lefty from the stretch, on the mound, looks at the runner at first, comes set. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Fastball that's hit hard towards second base. Second baseman over to short. Short over to first. 4-6-3 double play. Get him out of here. Grimm to Hardy's to end the inning. So the ball hit hard right at the second baseman, Bryce Grimm. Fires it over to his brother Blake at short, and then Blake with the turn over to Hardy's at first to get Tremmel out of the inning. So great play there by the middle infield of Baxter Otto to end that inning. Going into the bottom of the fourth inning, your score remains Dinsdale Otto 1, Baxter Otto 3. We'll be back for the bottom of the fourth in just a few moments. Thanks for listening on GretnaBaseball.com. Bottom of the fourth inning. Warm-ups were really quick. Bryant Jerry, the catcher, comes up to bat. And he takes the first pitch from Wrinkle on the inside corner for a called strike. Jerry, his first at bat in the second inning, flew out to the shortstop. As he takes the 0-1 pitch from Wrinkle, and that's a curveball that stays inside. Jerry stood in there. He was going to let it hit him if it kept on path, but it curved a little bit at the end. 1-1 pitch to Jerry. Swinging, I couldn't tell if it was foul tipped or missed, but anyways, it popped back off the catcher and into foul territory, so 1-2 is your count. Wrinkle from the full windup, 1-2 pitch. Jerry drills it just foul down the third base line. So he looped it right over the top of the third baseman's head, well, in foul territory. It was height-wise. It was just head high when it passed the third baseman, but it was about 3 feet foul when it hit down on the ground by the foul line. This one buzzes Jerry. That's a flyby as it goes right by the helmet, and he just stood in there and watched it go by. 2-2. Don't mind you wearing it, Bryant, but not in the head. 2-2 delivery misses low and away. 3-2 count to Jerry. So he's trying to get on to get the leadoff runner on board for Baxter Otto. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that's a fastball that again is fouled hard. Coach O'Flynn with an Olay move over there at third. We'll get the kids to work on him with him later. I'd have just jumped out of the way, but he at least tried to stick a hand out there. 3-2 still your count to Jerry. And Jerry hits one way up in the air to shallow left field. The left fielder coming on. And it almost popped out of McKenna's glove out there, but based on the way that he's been playing, figure if he can get to it, he's probably going to catch it today.
Number 2.
So 1 out.
Bryce Grimm.
Brings up the second baseman, number 2, Bryce Grimm. Bryce is the one who started the double play in the top of the fourth. And in his only other at-bat, he reached on an error, and now he's reached by being hit by the pitch as that one stayed inside and never moved. And Bryce Grimm is going to trot down to first.
Blake Grimm.
That brings up the other part of the combination in that double play, the shortstop, Blake Grimm. So he comes up to bat. Grimm has walked and reached an infield base hit. So he's technically 1 for 1 today. Looked like there must have been a hit and run or something on, because that swing by Grimm on the first pitch was incredibly late. But it looks like the runner at first didn't get any kind of jump. So 0-1's the count. 0-1 pitch is a curveball that misses outside and low, 1-1. So Bryce Grimm on first, Blake Grimm at the plate, 1 down here in the bottom of the fourth, with Gretna leading 3-1. Here's the 1-1 delivery to Blake Grimm. Bounces in the dirt to the catcher. Bryce Grimm hesitated, took off late, but still gets into second safely. So not exactly the way that you run bases according to the handbook, but it works. 2-1, and Bryce Grimm is now in scoring position at second base. Blake Grimm's got a hitter's count, and that's another fastball that misses low. 3-1. And this inning is setting up very similar to the way the third inning started out. Here's the 3-1 delivery. No, he's going to run off the back of the mound. No throw, just kind of reminding Bryce that he knew he was there. 3-1 pitch to Blake Grimm. Fastball misses low and away, and he takes a walk. So it brings up to bat the center fielder, number 4, Caden Opfer. Opfer so far in today is grounded out to second, and he struck out his last at bat on a pitch he just missed. Runners on first and second. Wrinkle from the stretch comes set, delivers to Opfer. Fastball on the outside corner, called a strike for strike 1. 0-1's the count. Wrinkle comes set. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Carbon copy of the last pitch. Slow pitch, high outside corner, and he's giving it to him. Strike 2. So Opfer's in a hole, 0-2 here, with runners at first and second with 1 down. Another outside pitch. Opfer swings and misses. Grimm takes off for third, and he's tagged out on the play. So strike him out, throw him out, double play there. As Opfer goes down on strikes for out number 2, and Bryce Grimm gets shot down by the catcher trying to steal third. So going into the 5th inning, we've played 4 complete innings of play, a little less than an hour into this game, and we're already going into the 5th. Your scores: Dinsdale Auto from Grand Island 1, Baxter Auto from Gretna 3. We'll be back with the top of the 5th inning in just a few moments. Thanks for listening again on GretnaBaseball.com.
Baseball fans, this broadcast of the Nebraska American Legion Area 6 Juniors Tournament is brought to you by our sponsors. One such sponsor is Kirsten Construction of Gretna, Nebraska, a full-service underground utility contractor, providing quality service to residential, industrial, and commercial clients in eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. They provide free estimates. Give them a call. Services include underground utilities, water and sewer line repairs, and snow removal. And Kirsten Precast Concrete products include manholes, septic tanks, and special orders. Give Kirsten Construction a call at 402-332-4141, a proud sponsor of American Legion Baseball.
And we're back for the top of the 5th inning. Trevor Johnson of Dinsdale steps into the box and hits the first offering from Tremmel to the shortstop, Graham, who fires over to Hardee's for out number 1.
Number 1, shortstop, Colby Hayes.
So that was a quick out, folks. We didn't miss any broadcasting. It just happened that fast. Coming up to bat is number 1, the shortstop, Colby Hayes. Hayes, who had a single in his first at-bat in the 3rd inning. Faces Tremmel, takes the first pitch, fouls away for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 delivery from the lefty Tremmel. Fastball right on the outside corner for strike two. Good pitch. So he started on the outside edge and it actually was tailing away from the right-handed batter. And he got the call. 0-2 to Hayes. Oof. Pitch that just missed somewhere. Not sure where. We'll call it high. 1-2 to Hayes. Fastball out off the plate. 2-2. Hayes really hugging the plate. The right-handed batter against the left-handed Tremmel. 2-2 pitch. Just slapped away back to the backstop. Just fought that one off. 2-2. Top of the fifth inning from here in Gretna. Here's the 2-2 offering from Tremmel. Another ground ball to the shortstop. Over to Hardy's. Out number 2. So he's gotten 2 ground outs to the shortstop so far in this inning as Tremmel's kind of cruising. Facing the number 9 hitter. Number 9 center fielder Jack Friesen. So Friesen, his only at bat in the third inning, was asked to lay down a sacrifice bunt and did his job right back to the pitcher. Takes the first pitch from Tremmel, a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Again, he's got that good tailing fastball when it's working. He starts it on the outside corner and breaks it away from the plate. Tried a curveball and that one slipped out of the hand as Jerry had to slide hard to his right to even get a piece of that. 1-1. Tremmel from the full windup to Friesen. Another ball hit to shortstop. Grimm slides across. Is he going to make all 3 outs? Yes, he is. As he fires across to Hardy's, the hat trick for Grimm over at shortstop. As we had 3 6-3s in the top of the fifth inning. Going into the bottom of the fifth inning, your score remains the same. Dinsdale 1, Baxter Auto 3. We'll be back with the bottom of the fifth inning in just a moment. Thank you again for listening on GretnaBaseball.com.
Points, cash, gear, sports. With a Dick's scorecard, you earn points on all your purchases and get 3% back in rewards and access to exclusive deals and events. It's simple. Points lead to cash to buy gear so you can play more sports. Get your Dick's scorecard and start earning reward certificates today. Every season starts at Dick's.
Technically game 3, but the second game of the day that's being played, where Dinsdale is trailing Baxter Auto of Gretna 1-3. Joe Weiss batting for Baxter Auto, hits one to left field, but of course Ace McKinnon runs under it. He's having a whale of a game out there as Weiss hit that ball hard, but McKinnon tracked it down for out number 1. So bottom of the fifth inning here, your score is Dinsdale Auto of Grand Island 1, Baxter Auto of Gretna 3, and in steps the first baseman Kobe Hardy's. Hardy's is 0 for 1 on the day as he's walked and reached on an error, and now he's been hit by a pitch as that one hit him right in the side.
Number 3, left fielder Carson Dudry.
So Hardy's over on first after getting hit right in the side on the very first pitch he saw in the fifth inning. So runner on first brings up the left fielder, number 3, Carson Dudry. Dudry's grounded out to second and has walked, so he's 0 for 1 on the day as well. And he fouls one right back over the top of us, over the backstop, over the press box for strike 1.
Return those foul balls to the concession stand for 50 cents, courtesy of Speedy Mart and American National Bank.
0-1 count to the batter, Dudry. Hardy's with a small lead off of first. Here's the pitch from Wrinkle, and that's slapped into right field. That's going to be down for a base hit. Hardy's had to kind of hesitate to make sure that it dropped in front of the right fielder as he was coming on fast. But both runners are safe as Dudry has the nice base hit to move the runner over to second.
Number 6, third baseman, Zach Devine.
And it brings up the third baseman, number 6, Zach Devine. Zach is 0 for 2, and he's been robbed twice by the left fielder out there. So he needs to keep hitting it hard, and one of those is going to drop in. Runners on first and second as Hardy's is on second, Dudry on first. Here's the pitch from Wrinkle. Swing and a miss by Devine. So 0-1 count to Devine over there. Hardy's leading off second. Dudry off first. Here's the pitch from Wrinkle. Drilled down the third base line, and that's going to be fair. Hardy's is in around third, and he's going to score easily. Dudry's heading into third, and there's nobody covering the base as the throw comes to the cutoff man in on the grass. And that's going to be, how are you going to mark that, a single or a double? I like it. Zach Devine with the RBI double. So I told you he's been hitting the ball hard today, and that one, nobody was going to catch it. That was a hard line drive just inside the line. So Hardy's comes around to score, making the score Dinsdale 1, Baxter Auto 4. Dudry moves all the way up to third, Devine to second on the double, and it brings up to bat the pitcher, number 13, Luke Tremmel. Tremmel sees the first pitch, low and in the dirt, off the outside corner for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Tremmel, and he hits one deep to right field. The right fielder's going back. He'll make the catch, but it's deep enough. It should score the run easily as Dudry comes in from third. He's going to score. The throw to the cutoff man at first gets away from him, and a bunch of heads-up base running there by Zach Devine as he moves on into third base on the ball that was mishandled by the cutoff man. So that's a heck of a sacrifice fly. If you're going to take a sacrifice fly, that's the way to do it. You advance the runner at second, you score the runner from third.
Catcher, Brian Jerry.
It's definitely worth it. That's a good piece of hitting there by Tremmel. Brings up the catcher, Brian Jerry. He sees the first pitch for a strike. The one thing I will say about Wrinkle is he doesn't waste any time. He gets the ball and he goes. Wrinkle comes set with the runner on third, 2 down to Jerry. Curveball. Big looping curveball that really didn't break. And there's a pitch that's fouled out of play on the right side. 0-2, quickly, 1-2, to Jerry. So 2 runs have come across so far this inning for Baxter Auto as they now lead Dinsdale 1-5 here in the bottom of the 5th. Jerry hits a hard ground ball that's going to go foul down the third base line. 1-2 will be your count. Jerry so far today has flown out to the shortstop and then a high towering pop fly that was handled, actually ripped away by the left fielder. This one's fouled just out of play over the backstop on the right-hand side. So he's fighting off pitches to get something he likes, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Jerry. Curveball that he drills right at the third baseman who makes the catch. He hit it on the nose, but he hit it right at the third baseman's nose, so he was able to make that catch. Mark that line out, so we remember that line out 5. So good inning again for Baxter Auto as 2 more runs come across going into the top of the 6th inning from Gretna. Your score, Grand Island, Dinsdale Auto 1, Baxter Auto, Gretna 5. We'll be back with the top of the 6th inning in just a few moments. Thank you for listening on GretnaBaseball.com. top of the 6th inning, Tremmel's first delivery to the batter, number 6, Ace McInnes, is fouled out of play over the backstop for strike one. McInnes at the plate is 1 for 1 tonight as he's walked and had a single. And let me tell you, defensively, he has probably been the defensive player of the game as he's made some gems out there in left field. 0-1 pitch to McInnes is in the dirt, bounces off Jerry, back away, 1-1. So top of the 6th inning here from Gretna. Game going very quickly as it's been a pretty clean game. 1-1 pitch to McInnes from Tremmel. Again, in the dirt. 2-1 is the count. Top of 6, Dinsdale 1, Baxter Auto 5. Here's the 2-1 delivery from Tremmel to McInnes. Fastball stays high, 3-1. So McInnes leading off the inning, trying to get a person on board right away. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, 3-2. McInnes took a big cut at that one and came up empty as it was a fastball on the higher side. Probably still in the strike zone, though. Here's the full count pitch from Tremmel. Foul ball back towards the weak dribbler, back towards the Gretna dugout. Coach O'Flynn will come out and get that ball. Full count on the batter, McInnes. Tremmel from the full windup. Here's the delivery. And that one is strike 3 as he swings and misses. Jerry scoops it up and tags him right away on the ball in the dirt. So call it a strikeout for Tremmel as McInnes goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning.
Number 4, catcher Dalton Veith.
Brings up to bat the catcher number 4, Dalton Veith. Dalton has grounded back to the pitcher on a sacrifice bunt in the first inning and then struck out looking in the third inning. He takes the first pitch for ball 1 from Tremmel. Veith batting from the right side against the lefty Tremmel. Pitch on the outside corner called strike, 1-1. So Zach's been working the outside corner. Luke's been working that outside corner, and it looks like he keeps getting a little further off the plate. He needs to live there. 1-1 pitch from Tremmel. This is a ground ball towards shortstop. Grimm has to charge in. He charges and makes the throw across the diamond to Hardee's for out number 2. So another great play by the shortstop, Blake Grimm.
Right fielder, Paris Lautenschlager.
And Grimm over there at shortstop has made 4 of the last 5 outs for Gretna defensively. So it brings up to bat the right fielder, number 12, Paris Lautenschlager, who sees the first pitch from Tremmel out away from the plate for ball 1. 2 down in the top of the 6th inning here from Gretna. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and that misses low and inside. 2-0 is your count. If you're just joining us on GretnaBaseball.com, this is Game 2 of the day, Game 3 on the bracket between Dinsdale Auto of Grand Island and Baxter Auto of Gretna. 2-0 pitch is down the tubes for a strike. 2-1 to the batter, right fielder, number 12, Paris Lautenschlager. So Lautenschlager, good-sized kid standing in from the right side against the lefty Tremmel. That pitch is right there on the outside corner at the knees. 2-2 is your count. So Tremmel 1 pitch away from putting an end on this 6th inning for Dinsdale. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Way in the dirt. That one barely got to the dirt in front of home plate. Almost hit the grass. Full count. Here's the payoff pitch from Tremmel to Lautenschlager. Grounded hard. This one's going to be to Bryce Grimm at second base. So the second baseman over to the first baseman Hardee's for out number 3. So Dinsdale goes down in order in the top of the 6th. Your score going to the bottom of the 6th inning of play. Dinsdale Auto of Grand Island 1. Baxter Auto of Gretna 5. We'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsors at the bottom of the 6th inning. Thanks for listening on GretnaBaseball.com.
Points, cash, gear, sports. With a Dick Scorecard, You earn points on all your purchases and get 3% back in rewards and access to exclusive deals and events. It's simple. Points lead to cash to buy gear so you can play more sports. Get your Dick's scorecard and start earning reward certificates today. Every season starts at Dick's.
Baseball fans, this broadcast of the Nebraska American Legion Area 6 Juniors Tournament is brought to you by our sponsors. One such sponsor is Kirsten Construction of Gretna, Nebraska, a full-service underground utility contractor, providing quality service to residential, industrial, and commercial clients in eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. They provide free estimates. Give them a call. Services include underground utilities, water and sewer line repairs, and snow removal. And Kirsten Precast Concrete products include manholes, septic tanks, and special orders. Give Kirsten Construction a call at 402-332-4141, a proud sponsor of American Legion Baseball.
And we're back for Gretna, Nebraska, here at the Area 6 Class A Junior American Legion Baseball Tournament. And Baxter is winning in this one 5-1. As the first batter is going to be Bryce Grimm, the second baseman, who just made the last put out in the top of the sixth. And he got clipped on the pants as that pitch went by. So Bryce Grimm is going to go down to first on a hit by pitch. It brings up the shortstop, number 5, Blake Grimm. Blake's having a good night at the plate as he's technically 1 for 1 with 2 walks. Bryce leads off first. Wrinkle comes set on the mound for Dinsdale. Here's the pitch. Fastball that's called a strike on the outside corner. So he's giving a little more on the outside corner right now, but he's doing it for both sides. 0-1 is your count on the shortstop, Grimm. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Wrinkle. Curveball that drifts right in over the inside third of the plate. Strike 2 on Grimm. So Bryce Grimm leading off first. Blake Grimm at the plate. Bryce takes off, and it's going to be a foul ball, so he's going to have to return to first. He got a really good jump on that pitch, and with the speed that pitch was coming in, that slow curveball, he was going to be at second easily, but the ball was fouled back to the backstop. So it just turns into a glorified wind sprint. All right, count remains 0-2 to the batter, Blake Grimm. Bryce Grimm at first. Wrinkle comes set, delivers hard ground ball to the hole between short and third, and that's going to be through for a base hit. So Grimm is 2 for 2 with 2 walks today. He moves Bryce Grimm up to second base, and it brings up to bat the center fielder, Caden Opper. And there's going to be a timeout on the field as the Dinsdale coach is going to go out and have a discussion. No, it's not a discussion. It's a replacement. Looks like he was getting up. The young man, Wrinkle, had done a good job pitching. He'd gotten up there in pitch count, and I think was he at the limit, Clark?
Pretty close.
He was right at the limit. This year, American Legion Baseball, for those of you folks that may not know, has moved away from a pitch limit of innings pitched, and they've moved to a structure of actual pitch count, much like Little League Baseball has. And for Junior American Legion, the maximum pitch count you can have is 105. And Tyler Wrinkle was at 97. So he was getting up there in pitches. Good coach usually hovers around 100 anyways for a kid this age. And it was time for him to come out of the game. He did a great job out there on the mound. Yeah, he has nothing to hang his head about, that's for sure. In his place, Clayton Connolly is going to come in, number 16. So Connolly makes his first appearance in the game. And he's going to come in as the pitcher, so he will not be batting in the batter's order unless they remove the DH. And we've had no indication of that, so Connolly will come in as the pitcher. And as he's warming up out there on the mound, we'll close the book on Tyler Wrinkle. And really, overall, Wrinkle did not do that bad of a job limiting this Baxter Auto team to only 5 runs. And several of those runs scored as a direct result of errors. So he was getting the ground balls. All right, the center fielder, Caden Opper, comes up against the new right-handed pitcher. And Opper pokes a bunt, but it drops down. It was up in the air, but it dropped down and got on the ground. And with Opper's speed, he's able to beat it out over at first. So that's an infield hit for Opper. And now the bases are loaded for the number 3 batter, Joe Weiss, with no outs.
Number 10, right fielder, Joe Weiss.
So the right fielder, number 10, Joe Weiss, steps in against the new pitcher, Connolly. Connolly comes set with bases loaded, no outs. Fires the first pitch low and in the dirt behind home plate for ball 1. Bottom of the 6th inning here with Baxter Auto leading 5-1. And a 1-0 count to the batter Weiss with bases loaded. Grimm and Opera on base. Pitch in the dirt was blocked by the catcher, but he lost track of it. Knocked it straight down, so he found it after turning a circle or two. 2-0 is your count on Weiss. So Weiss today has flown out twice to left and reached once on an error. And he sees a fastball out off the outside corner for ball 3. So with bases loaded, you know the stop sign's going to be up here. And a pitch right down the tubes that normally he wouldn't watch. He had to watch there. 3-1. So here's the 3-1 delivery from Connolly to Weiss. Swing and fouled off on the right side, way out of play into the throwing area of the track complex down below. So full count to the batter, Joe Weiss. Bases loaded and no outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And there's a hard hit ball in the gap between the first and second baseman. It's going to score Bryce Grimm easily. Blake Grimm takes a turn and a look, but he'll stay at third, as that's an RBI single for Joe Weiss. So now coming to the plate with bases loaded, the first baseman, number 19, Kobe Hardees. Hardees on the day is... He's actually 0 for 1. He's reached on an error and reached 2 other times, once on a walk, once hit by a pitch. And he takes the first pitch, an outside fastball, right on the outside edge for strike 1 from Connolly. Right-handed batter faces the right-handed pitcher. Fastball, and Hardees fouls it out of play on the right side, and he's in a hole 0-2. So bases loaded, nobody down. Baxter Auto leading 6-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Hardees. That one's in the dirt for ball 1. Connolly from the stretch comes set. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Hardees. Fastball out off the outside corner, got him swinging for strike 3.
Number 3, left fielder, Carson Dudry.
So it brings up to bat the left fielder, number 3, Carson Dudry. Again, only 1 down here and bases loaded. Definitely like to do a little damage here and get some insurance runs going into the 7th. First pitch to Dudry is way out off the plate in the middle of the left-handed batter's box, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 delivery from Connolly. Fastball that stays upstairs, 2-0. So Dudry trying to be disciplined at the plate, looking for the pitch he can drive. 2-0 delivery misses upstairs and outside, 3-0 to Dudry. 3-0 pitch forthcoming with bases loaded. A walks a run, so he probably has the stop sign here. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Right down the tubes. 3-1. On 3-1, if that pitch gets thrown again, my guess is there's going to be a swing. Here's the 3-1 delivery to the batter, Dudry. And there's another pitch right down the middle. There was a swing. It's fouled out of play over the backstop on the right-hand side.
Concession stand for 50 cents, courtesy of Speedy Mart and American National Bank.
Full count to the batter, Dudry. Fastball on the outside corner. Got him looking. Second strikeout in a row there from Connolly.
Number 6, third baseman, Zach Devine.
Brings up to bat number 6, third baseman Zach Devine. Devine on the day is 1 for 3 with 2 hard flyouts to the left and a double. His last at bat right down the line. He takes the first pitch from Connolly for ball 1. Zach's been swinging the bat well today. It'd be nice to see him get a hold of one here. 1-0 pitch to Devine. And that's a high strike on the outside corner. Called a strike, 1-1. And Connolly's got to be careful on the mound there as he about blew through the set position. 1-1 delivery from Connolly. Another pitch on the high side called a strike again, 1-2. So Devine's in a hole, 1-2. Bases loaded with 2 down here in the 6th inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Connolly. Fastball out off the plate quite a ways, and he wasn't going to give him that one. 2-2. Looked like it was going to be closer to the plate than it ended up. 2-2 is the count to Devine here. Bases loaded, 2 down in the 6th. And Devine hits one into the left center field gap. They're not going to get to it. It's going to score at least 2, possibly 3, as Weiss is now rounding third and coming in. Devine's all the way at second. He's going to round. He's going to try for third. There's going to be a play at third base, and Devine slides in with a triple. A 3 RBI triple. So Zach Devine has been hitting the ball well today, and he does it again here with 3 RBIs as he clears the bases.
Number 13, Luke Tremmel.
So great piece of hitting there. As Tremmel comes up to bat, and what happened to Tremmel? I was looking down at my scorebook. Okay, Tremmel. Sorry about that, folks. I actually missed Tremmel's hole at bat. The first pitch, he grounded to the shortstop and grounded out the end of the inning for out number 3.
For Gretna Baxter Auto in the bottom of the 6th inning. 4 runs on 4 hits and no errors.
So we're going to the final scheduled frame of baseball. Your score going to the top of the 7th. Dinsdale Auto 1. Baxter Auto 9. We'll be back with the 7th and possibly final inning in just a couple of moments. Thanks for listening at GretnaBaseball.com. From Gretna, Nebraska. We're in the top of the 7th inning where Dinsdale Auto is trailing Baxter Auto by a score of 1-9. The first batter this inning for Dinsdale is going to be number 11. The designated hitter, Nick Leduc. He takes the first pitch from Tremmel for a called strike. 0-1 count. Tremmel from the full windup delivers. And that one's in the dirt, pops up into the Jiri. And away, 1-1 is the count to the batter, Nick Leduc. Top of the 7th inning, second of 3 scheduled games from Gretna here today in the area tournament. And there's a ball hit hard by Leduc in the left field. Dudry goes back and makes the catch in the left center field gap. And Opfer out there in center came hopping into him, celebrating, telling him what a great jump he got on that. So, nice to see them having fun out there. But great catch made by Dudry out there in left. Brenton Rivera, the second baseman, up to bat. He's flown out to center and grounded into what ended up being a 4-6-3 double play. And he takes the first pitch from Tremmel for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Tremmel to Rivera, and that one again skips up to Jerry. 1-1. Seventh and final scheduled innings as they play 7 here in junior baseball. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Tremmel to Rivera. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Rivera steps in from the right side against Tremmel. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. And Zach's been kind of living out there, and it seems like that corner keeps getting wider and wider and wider for him. They're going to call it. You've got to use it. So he goes down looking on strikes for out number 2.
Now batting number 13. Eli
And we have a substitution is coming into bat, number 13, Eli Ahrens. And Ahrens takes the first pitch from Tremmel as a ball. So Ahrens making his first appearance in the game, batting from the right side against the lefty Tremmel. There's a hard ground ball hit up the middle. Grimm's going to get to it from shortstop. Twist to 360, and Hardy's makes the scoop on the backside. What a defensive gem by Baxter Otto. That's a great play, and that's going to end the game. Ladies and gentlemen, that ball was hit almost over the top of second base. Blake Grimm made the play running behind second, had to spin a complete 360. The throw to Hardy's over at first was up the outfield side of the first base line and was short of the base. Hardy's had to stretch towards the outfield and scoop it with his backhand as the ball was up the line. So just a great defensive play all the way around to end the ball game. Your final score in Game 3, our second game that's taken place here today, is going to be Dinsdale Otto of Grand Island 1, Baxter Otto of Gretna 9. And what I wish you could have seen that play if you're listening. That was one of the best plays I've seen this year, period. It doesn't matter at any level. So here's what's going to happen for the teams. Baxter Otto, by winning this game, will move into the 7 p.m. game, or Game 8 tomorrow, where they'll face the winner of our next game, either Strategic Legacy Advisors from Columbus or United Federal Credit Union of Columbus. So Baxter Otto will play at 7 o'clock tomorrow. As far as Dinsdale Otto will play at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and Dinsdale will play the loser of the next contest.
If you're the parent of a Gretna baseball player, please meet Nancy downstairs outside.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. An hour and 33 minutes is all it took. An hour and 33 minutes to complete 7 innings of baseball, and a well-played baseball game it was. Baxter Otto comes out on top in this one, 9-1 over Dinsdale. Just as a reminder, we are going to try to cover every single baseball of this area tournament, every single baseball game of this area tournament. So if you can't make the trip to Gretna, we sure hope that you join us online. Thanks for listening at GretnaBaseball.com. We'll be back with the 7 p.m. game. Until then, I've got a couch back here that's calling my name. I'm thinking I'm taking a little nap. Thanks for listening. Again, I'm definitely not a professional by any means, but I appreciate the opportunity, and I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. You have a wonderful rest of your evening, and hopefully we'll have you at 7 o'clock when we broadcast the game coming up this evening. Thanks for listening on GretnaBaseball.com.